Hello again. Here's another lesson from my 2020 distance learning series. This is another lesson on the quadratic formula. We've done this before, but what happens if we want to just leave our answer in radical form or surd form? How do we simplify it and how do we present it and check it? Here we go. So we're going to solve a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula, x squared minus 6x plus 3. So why are we doing this? We've already done the quadratic formula, haven't we? Yes, we have, but we always used decimals at the end, didn't we? When we got a really funky radical. This time we're going to keep it in exact form, okay? What happens when we get to the bottom of our solution and we have a radical that doesn't simplify, or it doesn't become like a nice rational number? What are we going to do? We can just leave it in exact form, okay, which is what we've been talking about in chapter 11. So here we go. Here's our quadratic equation. So we've got ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A is 1. B is negative 6. Oh, so we've got a negative b, careful. C is plus 3. Okay, into the formula. Let's write the formula just so we make sure we remember it. X equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Putting that in, minus b, so we get minus 6 plus or minus. I'll probably do 1 or 2 extra steps here that you won't need. I just want to explain everything, make sure I don't miss anything. Minus 6 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Okay, now one important thing here that I did on purpose. Remember, this is b squared, so the negative is getting squared as well. You need to put brackets around that, okay? Let's do it, just one step at a time. Minus 6 is just 6. 6 squared is 36. Remember, that should be a plus 36, not a negative 36. Minus 4 3s are 12. All over 2 times 1, which is 2. Getting simpler now. 6 plus or minus, what do we get here? Root 24 over 2. Now in chapter 10 when we did this, we'd stop and run to the calculator. We're not going to do that this time. We're going to leave our answer with radicals in it, a simplified radical. In other words, our next step is going to look like this. 6 plus or minus something root something. Okay, we're going to simplify root 24. Okay, and what should that look like? So root 24 factor tree, 2 times 12, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 2. Got any pairs? Yes, we've got a pair of 2s. 2 comes out the front. So remember that's like a 4 inside, and then that gets square rooted, becomes 2 outside. And we've got a 2 and a 3 left over inside, which is 6. Okay? Now x equals, and what we do now is, we can simplify this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to break it up. Okay, so I'm going to make 2 separate fractions. I'll make it 6 over 2 plus or minus 2 root 6 over 2, like that. Okay, and can you see what's going to happen? This is going to get, all the fractions are going to disappear. 6 over 2 is 3 plus or minus root 6, and that is our solution. Final solution. We've got 2 answers. Okay, remember that means 2 separate answers, right? 3 plus root 6 and 3 minus root 6. There is another way you could sort of think about this final step here. You could factor out 2 from the top. This is the more official way that the textbook would do it. X equals, so we've got 6 and a 2, so we can take out a 2 from the top. The bottom's just 2. And think, 2 times what gives 6? 3 plus or minus. 2 times what gives 2 root 6? That'll be just root 6. And the 2's will cancel out like that, and that will give us the same thing. That's the more official way, but I think this is just an easier way to think about it. Just split it up into 2 and simplify the fractions. Test one of your solutions. So I'm just going to pick one of these ones. Which one? Plus or minus? I'll do the minus because it might just be a little bit trickier. Let's test 3 minus root 6. We put that back into our original equation and see if it's true. 3 minus root 6, x squared minus 6x plus 3 equals 0. Is that true? Well, let's try it. How do we do this? Now remember, this is like a minus b all squared. You've got to use that special product. So it's going to be a squared minus 2 times a times b plus b squared. Okay? A minus b all squared is a squared minus 2 times a times b plus b squared. You've got to use that special product. And next, minus 6 times 3 is 18. Minus 6 times minus root 6 is plus 6 root 6 plus 3 equals 0. Phew, now let's simplify this mess. 3 squared is 9 minus 6 root 6 plus, and root 6 squared is 6 minus 18 plus 6 root 6 plus 3 equals 0. Is that true? I don't know. Well, look, let's collect our like terms. We've got a plus 6 root 6 and a minus 6 root 6. So they're going to disappear, and what are we left with? 9 plus 6 is 15. Minus 18 plus 3 is minus 15. 0 equals 0. Yeah, it works.